So coming to the last video of module 2, so in this lecture we'll be discussing about line detection by local preprocessing operators and then how to detect the corners. So starting with line detection by local preprocessing operators. So we have done edge detection, we saw how to do a spatial filtering operation. So this is a continuation of that where we should understand that there are several other local operations that is used for different purpose. For example, related to line, for example, line finding, line thinning and line filling operations. So these are also some type of local operations that can be done and hence they can be grouped under local preprocessing. Also, there are other group of operators which helps to find the interest points or location of interest in an image. So suppose there is an image, not only line finding but also sometimes some region or points of interest we may want to find. Also, there is another class of local nonlinear operators and that are mathematical morphology that can be found using a mathematical morphology techniques. So basically, it is very important to go for line detection and corner detection as such. So line detectors, they are used to usually detect linear objects. For example, if you think of, remember your engineering drawings or railways or rods or some such kind of where there is a linearity present or some, lines or linear objects present. So linear detectors are used for such purposes. So corner detectors and other interest point like detectors, they are mainly used to register two or more objects, okay, two or more images one to the other. So if you want to, register two or more images one to the other, for example, in terms of motion analysis or object recognition from images. So if at all you want to go for that, we can go for corner detectors and other interest point detectors. So our interest is mainly here in line detectors and interest point detectors. So interest points could relate to some points of interest like corners, which we may be interested, or maybe object recognition, etc. So line finding operators, what is the aim of this? So here the objective is to find very thin curves in the image. So even sometimes if it may not be a line but very thin curves, then we have to go for line finding operators. So usually we should understand that the curves do not bend simply. So such curves and straight lines, they are called generally, even smooth curves and straight lines, they are generally called as lines for the purpose of our line detectors. Okay, so it's not that it has to be straight lines, but when there could be some curves which don't change suddenly. So if a cross section are perpendicular in direction, if at all we take a cross section perpendicular in direction to the tangent of the line, we get what is known as a roof profile, which we will see sooner. So we'll examine this. So in general, mathematically, if you want to find out these lines or line detection, if you want, there are some kernels present or filters present. Some of these three of such convolution kernels are H1, H2, and H3. What you can see here. So we can use this local convolution. We can go for line detection by using these local convolution, performing these. 3 cross 3 local convolution with images. Of course, there are bigger mass also present, for example 5 cross 5, etc. But what you see here is a 3 cross 3. So basically such line detectors produce more lines sometimes than needed, than what is necessary, and sometimes some other non-linear constraints may be added to. So for such times we may add some non-linear constraints to reduce this number. So of course, rather than just these convolution kernels, there are more sophisticated approaches that are present for line detection. And if you go think of application for line detection, so line detection is frequently used in remote sensing and in document processing. Then coming to local information about the edges. So if you want to go for point of interest on kind of detection or processing. So local information about the edges is the basis for class of image segmentation techniques. So in the next module we will be studying about image segmentation. So that is what is they calling it as chapter 6. For us it is module 3. So that is where we go for segmentation, where we'll be studying in detail about image thresholding, etc. So edges which are likely to belong to object boundaries are usually found by using thresholding techniques. Okay, so that we'll be seeing further in the next module. So sophisticated segmentation techniques, which we'll be studying in this next module, but much simpler edge thinning and filling methods are what is described in this module. So these techniques are usually based on information about small local neighborhood that are very similar to other local preprocessing techniques which we already studied prior in this module. So thresholding the edges are mainly used wider than just applying it on one pixel, and line thinning techniques. So the next is the line thinning techniques. They may give a better result. One line thinning method, if you want to use, they need the knowledge about edge orientation. So orientation is how the tangent to the towards the line changes or the direction. So about edge orientation, if you want to use line thinning method, we need to have information about edge orientation, and in this case the edges are thinned before thresholding. So before we go for much sophisticated thresholding, if at all you want to go for line thinning, then we have to have some information about the edge. So this is a little about edge thinning. So edge magnitudes and direction, and if at all we have such a gradient provided by application of gradient operator, that can also be used. And there are of course many other line thinning methods which we are not going to bother. So the last topic in module 2 is about detection of corners. So just now I told about trying to find some interest points. So rather than just having interest on edge and lines, we need to have some, we want to find some more information about some points of interest. So in general, all such possible pairs of pixels should be examined to solve the problem known as correspondence problem. Usually, this kind of interest point problems, they are quite computationally expensive to solve because we need to have information about a lot of parameters. If two images have n pixels, each complexity given by order of n square, this process can be simplified if the correspondence is examined among a much smaller number of points. So these are known as what we already keep speaking about, interest points. Usually an interest point will have some local property. That is what we need to understand. So this local property may be something like corners, edges, etc. Edges we are not interested, because already we have spoken a lot about edge detectors. So we can go for corners. So if square objects are present, we know that there are four corners, and this could be a very good interest points. So what are corners? Corners in image, they may be located using local detectors. So input to the corner detector usually can be is the grayscale image itself. So interest points we can obtain by thresholding the result of the corner detector. So first we go for corner detector, then we go for thresholding, and then we find the interest points. So corners, they serve better than lines. Okay, when we actually want to solve this point of interest or correspondence problems. This is due to the aperture problem. What is the aperture? So we know that when we're capturing a image, we have to use some sort of camera or some lens. So if a moving line is seen through a small aperture, only the motion vector perpendicular to the line is usually observed. So that is a problem with having only information about the edge. So such times the corner information which will provide a better ground for unique matching. Edge detectors usually, of course, they are also not as stable at corners, so that's why we can actually go for corner detection. So to go for interest points or correspondence problem, solving the correspondence problem. Or to go a little more about corner, so corner in the image, they are nothing but the pixels in which whose immediate neighborhood, there are two dominant. Okay, that is a different edge direction. So corner and edge is almost like similar, but corner is more precisely to the one end. Okay, so here a corner in an image can be defined as a pixel in whose immediate neighborhood there are two dominant different edge directions. So this is a corner. So if I draw like this, so this is a corner, so the direction once changes like this, and there is one sudden direction change like this. So this definition is of course not very precise, Okay, but we are speaking in terms of gradient. There is a sudden change in the maxima minima. Okay, these are also called as line endings. But one thing we should understand that corner detectors are not very, very robust. So this a problem at times. So the simplest of corner detector is known as the Moravec detector. So this is represented like this. The Moravec operator MO is given by MO of Ij. We have double summation and we have normalizing it over 8. So 1 by 8 into summation. We know that I and J are the coordinates points or the spatial coordinate points. So K and L we take it as dummy variable. So I minus 1 to I plus 1 is the summation. J minus 1 to J plus 1. We are subtracting f of k comma l minus and f of I comma j. Okay, so this is how we can go for Moravec detector, which is a simple corner detector. So better results are produced by computationally more expensive corner operators. There are other corner operators which are proposed by Zuniga, Haralik, and other people. Okay. So the image function f that is approximated in the neighborhood of the pixel I comma j by a cubic polynomial with coefficient c k is given like this. So this is one another image function approximated in the neighborhood of the pixel that can be used in go for corner detection. So the Zuniga-Haralick operator ZH is given like this. So we already found that C, what is the value of C in the previous slide. So that is used here to find the this ZH operator. So there's one more thing called as the KR operator, which has the same numerator as this, but it has a different denominator, which is given by c square, c2 square plus c3 square. So already the c value we know, which you have studied in the previous slide. So these are some edge detection operator. But the most important, sorry, these few are the corner detector operator, but the most important one is known as the Harris corner operator. So this Harris corner operator, it was given by Harris and Stephen. So this actually is an improvement over the Moravec's operator because here we are considering the differential of the corner. So consider that we have a 2D grayscale image F and an image patch. Okay, so you consider that W is an image patch which belongs to the image, is taken and is shifted in a small direction, that is delta x in the x direction and delta y in y direction. So we are taken a small patch in the image f w and we are shifting that patch. Now the sum of square differences s between the value of the f and the patch w, that is which is shifted by delta x and delta y, is given by SW of delta x, delta y, and so on. This is the thing given by after the sum of the square difference s between the f and the patch image. So a little more about Harris corner detector is there, which a little bit derivation is there, which is given to you as a part of the homework. Okay, so it's a very brief derivation and a small algorithm also. So what is Harris corner detector and derivation for the matrix related to Harris corner detector, that is the kernel. So you have to derive the kernel. Some 5 to 6 steps are there, which is in the textbook. I request you to kindly derive, and a 5-step algorithm is there which will be a part of your assignment. So with this I intend to complete the module 2. If you have any doubt, please do approach me. So thank you.